Hello there, this is Adam Gussow from modernbluesharmonica.com. Do you want to learn that lick? I think that is just about the most incredible, funky, bluesy lick that I know. When I first heard it years ago, it was a James Cotton. Actually, it was a James Cotton album, and he was doing it on an E-harp. I'm sure you don't have an E-harp, but that's what he was doing. And he just I forget the name of the cut. Anyway, I'm going to show you how to do that, and I'm going to show you this lick. It is just, to me, it's like the most powerful, down the middle of the road, shuffle blues lick. And the best way to do it is to go in and do it in 3 different forms. And this is one of the keys for learning hard stuff on the harmonica. Some of the real blues stuff is that you start with an easier version and you learn that and you get that grooved in, because of course none of this stuff is any use to anybody if it doesn't have a groove. It's like, it don't mean a thing if it ain't got that swing. It just ain't smooth if it ain't got that groove, is the way I'm going to put it. You got to have the groove. So you can learn that with an easier version and then add some subtleties. Okay? So, in fact, let me show you the 3 versions. So we're going to start like this. Then we're going to go. Then we're going to go. That's actually 3 stages. Then we're going to add the fourths. Isn't that cool? So it sounds like magic to me. Certainly it did when I first heard it, but you can get there. We got 4 stages. We're going to move fairly quickly. I don't want to waste a lot of time on this one. I sometimes do that with these lessons. So let's move you quickly through. So we've got a key of C harmonica, Hohner Marine Band, key of C. I'm going to use the C's. Not B flat anymore. It's going to be C's. Okay. Now, I'm going to start on the 4 blow, and that's an upbeat. 1 So actually, in your mind, first thing I'd like you to do, this would be useful, we're going to count. We're going to put the harp down, and we're going to count. And you're going to tap your foot or your hand, and you're going to go a 1, a 1, a 1, a 1, a 1, a 1, a 1. So it's triplet rhythm. A 1, a 1, or you can go a 1, a 2, a 3, a 4. I don't think you want to do 1, 2, 3, 4. I just think a 1, a 1, da 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 da, a 1, a 1. And the reason you do 1 is because that's the downbeat. That's the downbeat. So this lick is tricky. The first thing you have to master is the idea that a lick could begin with a note that's on the upbeat to the downbeat. Right? It begins, in effect, 1 split second before the downbeat. So we're going to go 4 blow. There's just 3 notes in it. 4 blow, 4 draw, and 3 draw. So it's a triplet, but it's displaced an 8th note triplet early, if that makes sense. Probably doesn't make sense, but that's what's going on. And if you're a beginner, this is already busting your mind, right? If you're not, you should be able to do this. But if you're a beginner, you're going, 3 notes, and you're going, and that's wrong, because you did your first note on the downbeat. No, it's. Now your tongue is just doing what it does. It's somewhere in your mouth. You're not tonguing any of these notes. Now what I notice if I do that repeatedly is that I start to overinflate. I start to actually get more air in than I'm getting out. Why would that be? Well, here's where you can use your brain. You can analyze the lick. It's a 3-note lick. 2 of the notes are drawing in. 1 of them is blowing out. Now you're about to learn an important lesson, because especially if you're a beginner, beginners often have trouble with breathing. But if I teach you how to analyze any given lick and you go, okay, the notes are all the same length, 2 of them you breathe in, 1 of them you breathe out. What's going to happen over time? You're getting in twice as much air as you're getting out. Unless, well, what are your options? Allowing your upper lip maybe to blow, when you blow in that blow note, the 4 blow, maybe you open the top of your upper lip. So actually, that's a little tricky, right? But that's actually the way, if you're going to do this over an extended period of time, this lick, you're going to do it repetitively, you have to find a way to open your upper lip. If I don't, now if I'm good, I might be able to get in a little air through my nose, but okay, that's number one. Already, it seems like it's just 3 notes, but it's displaced forward rhythmically, displaced a little early. And if you want to do it aggressively and repeatedly, you may have to make some little adjustments. This is real blues harmonica playing, right? This is, I'm not giving you the make-believe stuff. We're not going to do Oh Susanna, right? This is the real stuff. So I've detuned it, but there's still some really important things you've got to learn, and learn really means to incorporate and get the muscle memory and the reflexes. Kind of, you're taking programming now and you're going in and putting in a new operating system, a little bit. Okay, so that's stage 1. Now for beginners, that's probably all you can do, but that's still a pretty good lick. And interestingly enough, you can move it around. You can go down to the 2-blow. And that's actually just as good. It's a nice lick. It's one of the first licks I learned. I think I used an A harp, probably on the Climax Blues Band doing Going to New York. Okay, so no bending needed. That's stage 1. Remember, there's 4 stages. That's stage 1, okay? Stage 2, same 3 notes, well, in the same order, except the middle note, instead of being a 4-draw, is a 4-draw bend. So instead of, you're going. Now this is just an intermediate stage, but it's designed to get you conversant with the idea that you can have a fairly quick triplet lick like this, a repeated, we call it a triplet because it's 3 notes. Again, it's displaced 1 note early. You're going to hit it a little bit early, right? That's really important. Go back to stage 1 if you can't do that, okay? But the idea that you're going to add a bend in there while you're moving fast, that's pretty tricky. So this is not beginner. At this point, this lick is, maybe it's advanced beginners, more likely close to early intermediate. And I'm not going to show you how to bend. You got to know how to bend to do this lick. So we'll call this something that gets the beginners in the door, but you've got to go and learn how to bend, and learn how to bend and hit a bend. Don't just, but. So that's stage 2. So stage 1. Stage 2. All right. Now this is where you go from red belt to poom belt if you're in Taekwondo. My son he's red belt looking to go to poom belt, the red and white. Just because it turns out that all that stuff I was showing you, that's just, there's none of, it's like showing you how to throw a fastball, but now we're going to do a curve. And again, we're talking about real blues harmonica. It's the serious shit that's going on in the harmonica. So now it turns out that what a guy like James Cotton is doing, if you go back and listen, I think you'll find this is what he's doing, is we're kind of in time, in the space of that second note, we're going down from 4-hole with no bend to 4-hole draw with no bend to 4-hole draw with a bend. In other words, there's motion, as brief as that note is, there's motion during the period in which it's being sounded. Now, if I just do this straight up at regular tempo, you'll know something's going on, but you don't know what's going on. So let me do regular tempo. So I'm not going, and I'm not going, I'm going. That's where the magic is, right? So blues, the blues pitches, people talk about a blues pitch or a blue note. It's not really accurate. blues is a lot about moving up, moving down. It's about a fastball that has movement on it, right? Or a curveball. It's about that. If you think about the pitch is actually moving in time, like a curveball that suddenly dips, right? And that's what we're doing, and that's where the magic is. That's where the, they have a t-shirt saying, "I'm a professional, do not try this at home," or you have a t-shirt like this, for example. Isn't this funny? Education is important, but playing the harmonica is importanter. Yeah, this is the work of HarpKingT-shirts.com, by the way. Encourage you. I don't have an official endorsement deal. He gave me a couple of shirts because I liked them so much. I said I want a shirt. So these are cool. Importanter. I love that. I'm a professor of English in my spare time. Importanter. Okay. So now this is where, if you hadn't gone through the first two stages, you see, then you're going to really be in trouble. And if you haven't grooved them, because the moment you start to put English on it, it's a ball that you're trying to aim at the plate, but you're also trying to screw with your wrist as you send it hurling towards the plate, right? It's really easy to lose your way the moment you try to do. And can I make it even more difficult, more of a challenge? The faster you go in this lick, the faster the groove is, ba-da-da, 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 at that tempo, you've got to modify somewhat how much English you put on it, how much of a dip in the pitch you impose on that four-hole draw in that brief period, because you have this increasingly brief period of time in which you've got to work with it, right? So if I'm going slow, if I'm going faster, now, what I love, if you go and you listen to James Cotton do this, I've heard him do this more than once. What he will do is he'll not only do that lick, but he will mess with time so that he goes from something that's more in a shuffle rhythm to something that's like he takes the lick and he expands the time that it takes so that he's kind of in a place where he's not on the beat, he's not off the beat. He knows where he is and he's messing with it. That's the real magic. That is 9th or 10th degree black belt. I can hear it. I can't safely do it every time. He can just do it. And that's where you start to learn that all of those martial arts, they're just fundamental principles that can be broken. Once you understand the reason why the principle's there, it turns out the principle is it's like meditation. Reality's much bigger than the little thing we've given you. So I'm just trying to give you a sense of the magic of the harmonica and where it's located. Now, those are 3 stages. And by the way, if you like what you're getting here, do me a favor, like the video. I really appreciate your like if you like this. If you don't like it, then dislike it. I get whatever you do. Mark thumbs down, okay? Maybe you knew all this stuff. Maybe this is all old hat to you. Or maybe you say, this guy can't really explain what he's doing. I think I can, but if you don't like it, dislike it. And also, if you like it, please subscribe to this channel. That way you'll get alerts when I do more of this stuff. And there will be more. Okay, stage 1. Stage 2. Stage 3. Stage 4 is where you start to let a little air in around the edges to sort of flesh it out and to smooth out the breathing thing. So, what I'm doing there, and all this, by the way, is lip pursed. I'm not tongue blocking. I don't know how people do this tongue blocked. I don't. Just Cotton? I don't know. I can't do it that way. But what I'm doing is I'm letting my upper lip come up when I'm doing the 4-hole blow. If I do it slow, you'll hear more. And what's nice is when I go fast, you can't tell what that is. That's just a psh. But when I go slow, So it's basically the 3, 4, maybe the 5 a little bit. As air blows around the harp, a little bit through the harp, you're getting a kind of percussive out breath, as much around the top of the top cover plate as it is through the harp. What all that stuff is. I can't teach you that stuff anyway. This lesson's over. 4 stages. Start simple and make sure you hit the downbeat on that second note. And one day I'll be seeing you on the bandstand and you'll be going, "Hey Gussow, check this out." Wow. You'll be doing it. Okay, this is Adam Gussow, Modern Blues Harmonica, and I'll see you down the road.